So, some basics of genetics. So, we're going to go over some vocabulary. So, the first word we're going to go over is phenotype. So, the phenotype is an observable trait like freckles, eye color, hair color. So, what you see is the phenotype. And I'll draw an eye so you know that you're seeing it. So the phenotype is what you see, and then the genotype is how we represent what you see. So if we're looking at freckles, we might represent that with an F. And since there's dominant and recessive traits, we need to have two things. So a big F is going to be dominant, and a little f is going to be recessive. So every person gets two genes from their parents, one from their mom and one from their dad. So you get two of these. So you're either going to get a big F and a little f, or you're going to get two big F's or two little f's. And when both of them are the same, that means that it is homozygous, because they're the same. And that is the Latin root for the same. And when you've got two different ones, you've got a big F and a little f, that means that it is heterozygous. Because hetero means different. So what happens is when we're trying to figure out what you're going to inherit, you have to use something called a Punnett square. So a Punnett square kind of looks like a window. It's going to have four sections to it. And so you take what the mom gives you, and you take what the dad gives you, and you put them on either sides. So we're going to put the mom up here and the dad down here. So I'm going to erase this. And the dad's going to go here. So say the mom is heterozygous, so she's got a big F and a little f. We're going to put the big F here and the little f there. And say the dad is homozygous and he's got two big F's. We're going to put a big F here and a big F here. And how you fill this out is you go, okay, we've got a big F here and we've got a big F here. So we're going to have two big F's. So that child, because these are each going to be different children, that child's going to have two big F's, so they're going to be homozygous. So we go over here and we've got a big F and a little f come over here. So they're going to be heterozygous. So out of the four possible children, we're going to have two with two big F's and two that have one of each. And what these F's actually mean is if you have a big F, two big F's, or one big F and one little f, that means that you have dominance, which means that you're going to have freckles. And if you have two little f's, which we didn't see here, that means that those are both recessive, so you're not going to have the gene that you need to have freckles. So in order to not have freckles, you need to have at least, both parents have to have at least one of the little f's. So if you have a parent which each has one little f, then down here you'll get a child that has no freckles, and then the other three are going to have freckles because of this dominant big F coming from either parent. And so this means that there is a 1 in 4 chance that this kid is not, that these parents are going to produce a kid that don't have freckles. Or you can say there's a 25% chance. So, phenotype is what you actually see. So we just learned about freckles, but it can be things like eye color or hair color, or it can be things like a cleft chin, or if you can roll your tongue, or if you've got a hitchhiker's thumb, if it's straight or if it's bent, or even if you've got like a widow's peak on your hair, or if your earlobes are attached. So that's what a phenotype is. It's what you actually see. And then a genotype is how we represent that. So how we represent that is with letters. So maybe if you wanted to do eye color and you wanted to see if a child was going to have green eyes, you might do G's. Or maybe if you wanted to see if they were going to have black hair, you might do B's. So you can kind of come up with whatever genotype you want. So then when you have one of each genotype, that's when you are heterozygous, because they're each different. When they're the same, either 2 dominant and 2 recessive, they're homozygous. And remember that dominant and recessive is when you have these big letters. So you have to have at least one of the dominant gene, or the genotype, to show that you have that phenotype. So in order to have freckles, you have to have at least one big F. And in order to not have freckles, you can't have any big F's, because then you'd have freckles, and that's not what you want. So, and then we show it using Punnett squares, because that is who founded this mathematical way of showing genetics. So that's all about genetics.